everyone. Uncle Mark here with the IT Business Podcast. This is a very special presentation. It is the day before Thanksgiving. And as per usual, we are doing a Black Friday preview, kind of my annual trek to talk about tech, hang out, and try to get you guys to support the show by making your purchases on Amazon during Black Friday and Cyber Monday. The show's a little bit different this year. We've got a couple of different shows spread out instead of trying to cram it all into one. And starting us off for 2023, the queen of the channel, Dawn Sizer from Third Element Consulting. Dawn, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I am good. Look at you all official with our studio and everything, making me look bad.
It's getting there. It's getting there. It's got the dog's chair is over here at the moment, so we have to still adjust a couple of things and get the lighting right, and it's getting there, but almost done.
So the dog in the background makes it look like one of those moving videos. So
yeah, no, he's for real. Like, this is Dave and I actually built out a studio in the house, so the walls are real, everything's real.
Nice, very nice, even with the live sign.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Now, did you buy that on Amazon?
I did. I totally did. Like, almost everything in here, except for the stuff that came from Lowe's, because, you're not going to buy walls on Amazon. Maybe you can. You probably can.
But you can buy a lot of stuff on Amazon.
Yeah, you can. So, yeah. But yeah, most of it did come from Amazon.
Nice. Nice. Now, one of the things I'm going to have to try to get you guys to do is set up a shortcut to the Amazon link for the IT Business Podcast. That way, when you make a purchase, 0.5% or 1% or 2%, depending on the day, comes back to the show and allows us to do special things like this. So for those of you joining us, this is not your regular IT Business Podcast. This is a special, as I mentioned at the top here. We just hang out the day before Thanksgiving. It's kind of a getaway day for most people. Some of us have clients that work. Some of us have clients that pretend to work. So a lot of us are stuck in the office kind of hanging out, waiting for that all clear when we can send our people home. But in the meantime, I thought, I'm here. Most of the time I do nothing. Let's do these shows. And Black Friday preview. So let me ask you a question, Dawn. Do you guys block shopping for your clients on their internet browsing?
We don't, for a lot of different reasons, but some of it is because we have a lot of cop shops going on and they need to have access to certain things, even things maybe they shouldn't have access to or wouldn't normally have access to in a regular client. So no, we don't do that unless somebody specifically asks, hey, I need you to block shopping, or I need you to create a rule somewhere that disallows certain websites, which we've done that previously.
All right. I've had a few law firms where they're like, block shopping, and I think there was a period of time where you actually had the category of Black Friday and Cyber Monday.
Yep.
So we would block those.
Yeah, some of the firewalls have that availability to do. I'm sure most of them do at this point, but we had it blocked for a while, and then they asked to turn it back on, which is fine as long as they're policing their own folks. I'm totally fine with that.
All right. So, any plans for the holidays this year?
I'm staying home.
Really?
Yes. Yeah, that's like a big deal for us. Quite frankly, we are staying home.
So there will be a period in time where the weather will dip down here. Sure you don't want to make a trip down to see a frozen iguana fall out of a tree?
I kind of do. I'm thinking maybe, so we've had this running joke going for a while. And it's like a whole business plan at this point. But apparently in Florida, they have like iguana wranglers or some variety of, there are people that come out and get the iguanas off your property. And we're thinking, well, if we just train the iguanas, air tag them, we can literally go round up some iguanas and then catch and release and keep that going for a while. It's a pretty good business model.
I got to look into the law because I don't know if you're allowed to release them. I think if you capture them, you have to kill them.
But who would know?
Listen, I'm no attorney, but I will check. Now, here's the thing. some of these iguanas get pretty big. So I don't know if you've seen a full-sized iguana, that, you know, that little Facebook picture you put up of the lizard running across the floor.
Okay, so
No.
so it was a baby iguana, and I figured maybe if we just started training them early, that's how we get this
Oh,
business model off the ground. But no, I have seen very large ones that are literally my size. So,
okay. All right. So let's get on to the Black Friday stuff. And I should have asked you another Black Friday question because, you know, you and I are roughly in the same age category where we remember days of actually going to stores. In fact, my wife actually still does it the day after Thanksgiving, Black Friday. They get up early and they still go to physical stores. When was the last time you did that?
um, I was probably a teenager, so it's been a while. Yeah, I stopped doing it once it got into that crazy thing where people were fighting. I didn't want any part of that. I'm not that big of a shopper. Like I like to go shopping, but I don't like that kind of crazy.
You know, like the stampeding into the front doors at 7 a.m.
No, no, I'm not into that.
What's the longest line you've ever waited in? Or have you
Um,
ever waited in
I
a
don't know
line?
that I've ever waited in a line like that.
Yeah. That's
I
once
think
I when I found out that, you know, they would wait in line, I'm like, no, 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 no. And I'm not getting up at 5 in the morning to go save $100 on a TV.
so. I say that, but like we've gone in the afternoon to like an outlet mall kind of thing, and we've waited to park. So and it was more like 10 minutes and kind of like it's annoying and we were
Mm,
almost to the point of like we're out, don't need this and a spot opened up. So
right. Okay. All right. So I had asked you to bring a list of goodies,
you
your tech
did.
gadgets per se. And it's tough when we do this because when I've done it in the past, it's always, you know, do we do tech gadgets for the home, tech gadgets for the office? But I said, you pick. And let's start with some of your favorite tech gadgets. What have you brought for us today?
So I brought everything that I brought are things that I use on the regular. So this is like if you're seeing it, this is something that I personally use. I've even got like the box for some of these things because they're not the whole way set up yet. But the first thing is the laptop, right? We use X1 Carbons in our office. We like them very much, very happy with them. And obviously, this one's coming off of Amazon, so it's not exactly the same as something we would buy that has the really good warranty and some other things on it. But X1 Carbons.
So I have on here the ThinkPad X1 Carbon Gen 11. Now, are these what you use just in your business, or is this what you purchase for clients?
Both. So we drink our own champagne, eat our own tacos, however you want to call that. But these are what we carry around ourselves, and then this is what we buy for our clients as well.
Now, the first question I'm going to ask is, it doesn't have the separate numeric keypad.
It does
Do
not.
do people complain about that?
I think I'm more a fan of the if you want a separate keyboard or a keypad like that, get a keyboard.
Oh, and it's got the full 180
It
tilt
does. So
back.
it's not the yoga, but they're really nice. So the yoga actually goes the whole way back around, so you can flip it over like a tablet.
Right. Okay, that looks nice. Now, the link you gave me took it right to the 32 gig, 1 terabyte. What's your normal configuration?
Depends on the person, so it could be larger if they need a larger hard drive. For me, because we're using 365, we don't really need a ton of stuff on the laptop itself, so that's probably fine for me.
Now, 1 terabyte is generous. We're still doing, 500 gig for our standard systems. For certain clients, for like their management or graphics people, we'll actually do the 1 terabyte.
Yep.
So 32 gig and 4 terabyte solid states, pretty nice system. Blacklit keyboard. Gotta love that. It's nice. All right, what's next?
So next on the list Well, you jumped to traction, so we're going to talk about that for a second, right?
Oh, it was sitting right next to it. I thought I was turning it off, but
No, it's totally fine. I think that's a great segue into if you haven't read Traction yet, you absolutely should do yourself, your business, and everybody that you work with a favor and figure out a system for your own business internally. And this is a great way to do it. A lot of us run this internally, and that's why I put it on the list.
yep. So just to let people know, so at one point in time, you and I talked about doing a book club built around this book.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, this is great. Now, it worked for you guys, didn't work for me, at least not fully and not yet. So I'll come back to it, but it's a very nice book.
It is, and I think that's one of those where you have to have a couple of people in the company to make this really work. It's great to wrap your head around what they're saying. If you're a solopreneur or just have, two people, that's totally great. And I think you've embodied some of those pieces,
Yep.
and which is fantastic. But to actually put it into practice, it would be harder to do as a solo person.
I think that was the thing where this was something that I looked at and said, okay, I'm not quite ready for these parts. So there's a lot of fundamental things that, foundation wise, good, put them in place. Let's get these done. And then some stuff that I could at least start to get ready for down the road, whether I grow or sell or whatever. So a lot of good things. So if you're looking for something to guide you with a business plan per se, this would be a good start.
Yeah, absolutely.
All
All right. Do you have anything else queued up that we'll just talk about?
So let me change this because it's a different tab. So I got to go back in here. Let's see I'll just go down the list here and pull these up.
Okay.
So what we've got here.
So so this thing, I'm going to do a huge shout out to Mr. Henry Tim for this. He was showing me one of these and I was like, this is fantastic. I need this in my life. Currently, I'm still running a Logitech one that's on my desk, but I do have it. It is tiny. I mean, tiny, tiny. It's only like this big. It's actually just a little bit bigger than that. So it's a tiny little camera and you can get a pole for it, which is fantastic. I have this on the list as well. But it really does follow you. And I believe it actually does the hand gestures and everything else. So if you need it to move or take a look somewhere else, you can do that just by gesturing at it.
Oh, look there. Zoom certified.
Ooh.
4K resolution, which is nice.
Yep. And it is on sale, by the way, for Black Friday.
Okay. So HDR mode, adjust the lighting, which I need. So the gesture control, you mentioned that.
Yep.
No more blurry shots. And a noise canceling mic. So it's got the mic built in. Do you use the internal mic or do you?
I
go with an
don't.
external?
So I actually use a little Meteor mic, and we can talk about that in a minute, but that's what I use.
All right. So it technically is still a webcam.
Yes.
And it can either sit on top of a monitor or on a desk.
On a desk, on a stand. It has the typical mount. So you can put it on a selfie stick. You can put it on a pole. You can put it wherever.
And you said there was a pole with it. So let me bring that up real quick.
Yes.
And there is the pole.
Yep. And again, I saw this one in use the other day. It's fantastic. So you can just set it up. Basically, it's just a screw in for the camera. You just turn it into the pole, set it up wherever you need to set it up, and away you go.
This looks more like a selfie stick.
It is, but it has a pole on the bottom for a stand.
But not a, oh, it does have a stand?
Yeah, it does have a stand.
There it is. Okay.
There it is.
Interesting. So this is meant originally for mobile devices?
Yep.
Oh, did you do that when you were out testing?
No, I did not. That's how I die, actually.
All right. So what is it? The Smatry telescoping selfie stick?
I'm sure it's made from pure Chinesium, but it works.
Well, they're touting it as compatible for the GoPro.
Yep.
All right. So, folks, I know we're running through things here. All of these I'll have links for in the show notes if you are listening by audio, or if you go to the webpage, or I'm going to try to do this. This will live on YouTube. So we'll put all the links in the YouTube channel as well. So you'll be able to go and find these on the Amazon. If you go to the show page and click on the link, those will be credited to the IT Business Podcast. So I appreciate that. Let's see what's next up here. Ooh, a desk mat.
So I do love me a good desk mat. So it not only does your keyboard live on it, but so does your mouse and some other things. And this is what's actually on my desk at the office. Whatever variety you choose to use,
This
whether you
particular
want,
design
yeah, like I like the pretty, right?
goes with your princess look.
It does, the princess look.
Okay, I'm sorry. I digress. Do you have one of those mugs that people are doing with the crafts where it has all where it's got this design etched in, the 360?
Oh, so no, but I do have a Tervis mug coming up that I use on the regular.
Okay. All right. So now here's the question. So I understand the keyboard rest, the mouse pad rest, the pad. So I use a pad here on my podcast desk, but I don't use a pad on my actual desk. Is this pad the type that you can write on, or does your pen sink into it and poke holes in your paper?
So that you'd sink into it just a little bit. It does have a
Okay.
little bit of give to it.
All right. Let me throw this up. We've got a listener or a viewer on LinkedIn who just I got a nice Huntress desk mat when I was at IT Nation Connect conference.
They did. They had nice ones.
They did. I actually did not get that as part of the swag contest, and I'll have to remember that for next time. Okay, so it's a full size desk mat.
Yep. And obviously, I mean, Logitech makes them. There's another one that you can get that does charging actually out on the right or left side. So if you want to keep your phone on it, it'll charge for you. Those are typically of the more rugged variety. So you could write on them. They don't have that little bit of squish to them.
Yeah, see, that's what I want. I want it to where I can write, kind of like the old style executive pads.
Yeah, it is more like a blotter. Yep.
But these are more for that cushiony, what is it, the absorbing feel, right?
Exactly. So it's enough so if you want something that's hot, you can sit it on there and it'll, not get into the desk because I have wooden desks.
All right. Purple marble.
Well, purple is the best color, so,
All right. So that is very nice. All right, let me get back to what you sent me and pull up the next item. Well, let's go ahead and talk about what you just mentioned.
So that's the iron flask. So this is for cold things usually. It actually comes with two different lids, but it's 40 ounces. So for those of you that are either doing 75 hard or want to make sure that you get into enough water every single day, 3 of those get you your gallon of water. That's the important part.
3 of these. These are 40 ounce. And they're insulated. Now, does it show the inside? Is it here we go. Yes, stainless steel insulation. So this this says it's hot or cold.
It is hot or cold. So it does come with both lids. So you can do the cold lid with the straw or the hot lid with the flip up.
Right. All right. Double wall insulation keeps your drink sweat free and cold for up to 20 hours.
Yeah.
Doesn't say how hot it keeps it.
Nice and toasty warm.
Hot up to 5 hours.
Yep.
That's pretty good there. Iron flask. And obviously designed to fit into your car mug holder.
Exactly. And they come in multiple colors, so you can get them in any variety you choose.
Well, of course, you chose the purple.
Of course.
The purple. So this would be nice as, oh, let me go back and look at the price. Okay, your Black Friday deal, 20% off.
Yep.
And there's all your colors.
And they are of the right variety. If you would choose to brand them, you could throw them through a laser engraver and brand them.
The Millers will be doing that later, I'm assuming. Okay, let's go down the list here. What was next? Oh, what is this?
So that's
That's
my
another-
coffee cup. Yeah, that's my Tervis coffee cup. So that's the one that I use. Dave actually has one that is Star Wars themed. So he has one that is The Mandalorian. So it's just a matter of picking the one that you like.
Okay. So this is what I was thinking of. They have the tumblers that look like this. They're actually the tall, thin,
Mhm.
where all the crafters are doing all their swirls and stuff like that. That's why I asked if you were getting
So
that.
yes, I have something like that. Yeah.
All right.
I've been pleased with their stuff. It holds up really well. I've dropped them a couple of times. The lids stay intact, that kind of thing.
All right. The Tervis Tie Dye Dragonfly triple walled insulation tumbler.
Yes.
And your standard 20-ounce.
And it fits. If you have a standard size Keurig, it actually fits underneath the Keurig if you're doing a 1-pod coffee. So
There we go.
that's the important part.
So pens.
Yes.
Always an interesting topic, especially when it comes to swag, because I know vendors love me because I always downplay the pens because I don't like a plasticky, cheap pen. I like a good quality pen.
So
And
a huge shout out
Parker.
to Datto on their pens, right?
Yes.
We've all got one on our desk. Those things are amazing.
I've got two. Yep. Yep. So here's a Parker pen that you've got here. And the barrel looks interesting. Is that
It's
like
it's a little thicker than your average pen,
right?
and it's a little shorter than your average pen.
Oh, interesting.
So it's super comfortable to write with as far as I am concerned. I have smaller hands and I like the slightly thicker barrel.
Now, it doesn't seem to have the fad where everybody's got the thing at the top, the stylus,
Nope, no
Probably
stylus.
there.
This is an old style pen.
just a pen.
It's just a pen. And honestly, when I want to get fancy, so I have other things laying around here, but when I really get fancy, I have a glass pen that I'll actually use real ink with. Yeah, there you go.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that is fancy.
So when I say I like a regular pen, I like a regular pen. And sometimes I get fancy and use something else.
I like a regular pen as well.
Yeah.
I guess that's one of the things. It's got to be a good quality pen. Now, I did not read. Here we go. Yep, medium point. That's what I like. I like the medium. I don't like the fine points. A little too.
Sometimes the fine point is nice. It all depends on what you're using it for. For regular notes, though, it's just nice to have that medium.
Yeah, the medium is nice, and then I actually use the gel to sign my checks.
Mhm. Yep.
Okay, next up here. So we already went through one book, so let's bring in another book. The Compassionate Geek.
So we hand out a number of books through all kinds of different scenarios. And usually when somebody is onboarded, the first thing that they get is a book and like, hey, we expect you to read this. This is one of the ones that we hand out. And it all depends on what that person particularly needs. Like some people will get one of the ones that are coming up. Some people will get Traction that we already talked about. So typically, if they're getting hired into leadership or a managerial spot, they'll get traction. If they're coming in as a level 2 or level 3 engineer, they're probably going to get the compassionate geek.
So this is great. So this is for staff, and I like it. It's actually kind of a customer experience book. That's the phrase we've been using lately here.
It
Building that.
is. It is. It's a customer relations, how to handle things with empathy, because it is something that we all struggle with a little bit as IT people for the most part. So I think this is one good way to take a look at how to do a lot of what we do with some additional empathy.
And there's a list of what you'll find inside. Best practices for communicating with email, 10 tips for being a good listener, and motivational stories of human triumph with reflection and discussion questions. So that's a good book there. So definitely something for the larger organizations if you want to get stuff for your staff. And as you said, for onboarding, right?
For onboarding especially. Yep.
Now, is it required reading? Do they have a test on it, or is it just recommended reading?
So for us, the first 30 days, it is required, and they do need to do a quick, summation of the book. What did you get out of it, sort of thing. So not necessarily a test, but I want to make sure you read it.
Okay. And then this book, Help Desk Habits, is this also a nice onboarding book?
This is also a nice onboarding, especially for somebody that's brand new to either the MSP world or just brand new into the IT world.
Become a help desk superhero and make yourself indispensable. Help Desk Habits by Mark Copen. Okay. And this looks interesting. So it actually looks like it describes them in habits. So things that you should actually make a regular practice, not just tips.
Exactly.
And then, of course, anybody looking to grow their tech business, MSP Secrets Revealed. Episode 2. So this must be his second revision.
No, actually, they're two completely separate books. So there's episode 1, which is the red one, and then episode 2, which is this one. And I threw these up here as a shameless plug because I'm in both of them. And they are really good. So they took a lot of the MSPs in the United States and across the world and got like one little tidbit of really, really good information and put it into a book. So if you're looking for different ways of, if you know something's broken in your business, one way, shape, or form, this is a great way to see what other people have done to get past that point. So for us, one of them was the onboarding program, and the other one is how we do compensation, is what I submitted for those. So you can see those things in specific detail.
All right, we're going to have to add all these to the must-have MSP book list. And you can actually see Don Sizer in both of these. Nice. Now let's take a little bit of a switch away from the tech. And you have animals.
I do.
So
I have 2 dogs.
I completely understand why this is in there, except I do not understand why people want to dress their animals.
So one of them has plenty of fur. We don't have to deal with the jammies for the other dog. But we have a pit bull mix of some variety, and his fur is so thin, I can actually see his skin. So he gets cold really fast. Now he has an outdoor jacket when he goes outside. That's one thing. But for just even being around the house, and especially at night, he gets cold. So either I have the choice of putting him in jammies, or he can be under the covers with us. And quite frankly, for a dog that sleeps on its back, it's really annoying to have his feet in the air under the blankets. We've done this. We've tried it. We've decided that the jammies were the way to go. So that's why we do jammies.
I'm sorry. I'm just looking at this little onesie. It's front protection, back protection, four-sided and stretchy fabric.
It is. It is. Not only that, but for those of you that do have pitties, you know that their skin is extremely sensitive too, and most of them have allergies. So even going outside into the leaves right now, where we are, if it rushes against his skin, then he's all itchy and stuff. So, and I have to wipe him down with wipes and everything else. The jammies fix that as well because they have the little cutout. They don't need to come off to go outside, so I can send him outside in his jammies. He can do his business, come back in, and he's not all itchy.
And no diaper to change.
No diaper to change. Exactly. Better
Okay.
than kids.
Oh, all right. This is very great ideas here. Again, a Black Friday special.
Exactly.
And
Guess
then
who's
we
getting more
have
jammies?
now, all right. So this, when I saw this on the list, I'm like, okay, we've got to ask about this. I've seen the commercials, and this guy looks a little annoying when he does his commercials. And I'm
So
like, the more annoying people are, I'm like, the more annoying, the less it works, right? But
exactly. Everybody's had some sort of pet accident of some variety, shape, or form. And I notice smells really quickly. So anytime that I even get the slightest hint of dog in my house, I'm freaking out. So we've sprayed things down with Febreze, and sure enough, it just smells like dog and flowers. And I was like, this is ridiculous. And this came out, and I was like, this can't possibly work, but it's only $20. And quite frankly, I'm okay with that. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to give it a shot. Stuff works, and it works really, really well. Like, you can literally spray it on almost anything, and it gets rid of the stench in like a second. It's crazy good.
so we went through our cat journey, which we no longer have indoor cats.
Yep.
And we went through similar situations with the litter box that was inside. And we had our cat Petey that towards the end started just deciding not to use the litter box.
Yeah.
And we had pee pads all over the house. He had his spots. So we knew if we went and put pads there, he would go to the pad, pee on the pad, but it would still have that
It smelled
odor.
bad. Yeah.
So we went through this. And so this would have been great. Now, the question is, and I'm looking here to see if it's something that you can spray on, floors, carpets,
Floors, carpets, I've sprayed it on
furniture.
the dog already. Like, you can spray it on the dog.
Really?
Yes.
Here we go. Furniture, carpets, pet toys.
Yep.
Nice. So it's kind of so this is what Febreze wants to be, right?
It is exactly what Febreze wants to be.
Okay. Oh, you can rub it in. I thought it was just a aerosol.
No, no. So it has the standard spray, and then it has like the directed spray. So like I said, the dog's gotten into things a couple times, and like before I was running out the door at the time, of course, because that's always when that happens. And I've sprayed him with it and just kind of rubbed it in. I was like, okay, problem solved.
Okay, great. So for those of you that have animals, this is something you should consider. And let's see, the last thing, it's not an Amazon item,
This one, yeah, it is not an
But for-
Amazon item,
but
but
this is definitely something where, so I'm on this thing where I'm doing this little unhealthy podcast thing where I'm talking about health and all the things that we do that we think we're healthy, but we're not. And actually, one of them is sitting in our chairs every day, especially as IT folks. We need to have good chairs. So the link that you gave me brought all this up. So do you have a particular one on here that we want to focus on?
I do. So I'm going to talk about two things actually. One of them is that walking pad, the treadmill for your under desk. Now you can get these on Amazon, and I think there's one up there right now that's like $149. And I should have grabbed the link to that because it's actually a really good one. And I know Darren and a couple of the other folks that are on the Degenerates group have that particular walking pad, and they swear by it, which is fantastic. So if you don't have one, maybe consider one and get your steps in through the day.
So it looks like it's just, your regular treadmill type thing where you get on it and and walk, and it just sits underneath. If you have a standing desk, like you said, it just
Yep.
slides right under there.
And if you don't have a standing desk, maybe think about getting a standing desk, because even if you're only standing, you actually do shift a good bit, a lot more than what you think.
Right. So it's interesting, the speed range. So from point 0.3 to 3.7 miles per hour, unless you really want to go berserk and exercise and do 6.2 miles an hour.
I mean, that's considerable, because like 5 miles per hour is actually a run for me, because I've got short legs. So,
All right. Oh, and it's foldable.
Mhm.
So, all right. And then I saw, what was it? The chair,
Yeah,
Ergo
so
Chair
scroll
Plus.
down just a little bit, and it's the one called the Ergo Chair Plus.
There we go.
So it's a skeleton type chair. And that's what we all sit in at the office.
Nice.
So super comfortable. It actually molds to you, which is interesting. I wasn't sure I was going to like it at first, but the back part of it is amazing, and the seat part I still have to get a little bit used to, because it is a little firmer than I'm used to. You don't sink into it; you sit on it.
Oh, it's
Yeah. So
is
it
it like a hard
gives.
plastic?
Yes and no. So it's like the back, like it gives with your body. So it
Right.
actually molds to you.
Hmm. Now, okay, when you say molds to you, is it like put an indention in the seat that's does it like what is
No,
the self-repair so that every time you sit down it remolds with you, or does it create a one of those permanent butt molds?
no. So every time you sit down, it adjusts based on your weight and how you're sitting on the chair.
Like a Tempur-Pedic seat.
Y- Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And then you can tighten the knobs and stuff on it to adjust a
All
little
right.
bit.
Now I like the fact that they lean back. So I don't remember the name of the chair I got. I spent some money on a chair last year that I'm okay with. But one of the problems I have is it doesn't it's a weird lean back type thing. I like to
Mm.
lean back, sometimes. And this looks like it's a nice lean.
I don't lean back on mine too much. I know the guys do, and they like it. So
Very nice. Now, let me look at this price range. So 349, so not bad
mm-mm, no, and they're
for
actually on sale right now, 150 off. And if you're doing quantities, we did a quantity discount with them, and they did pretty well on it.
yep, you can do a bulk order here off to the side. So this again, I will have the link for. Uh, won't be an Amazon purchase, but listen, at this point, it's not about that. It's about your health. So if you need a good quality, comfy chair, this will be the one to get.
Yeah, you can get Herman Miller's and a couple of other things that are in the same price point, and maybe a little bit more on Amazon if you want to go that route too. So
Well, the chairs that I was looking at before, so I think I spent it's like 280 or 290 for mine. But the ones that I looked at were more in the $600 range, and I'm like,
yeah.
I don't know if I can pull that trigger.
Yeah, that's kind of where we were too, because I was looking at the Herman Miller sales, and I really
Right.
liked the way they looked. I really liked everything about them, and I was like, I just, ouch. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I want to do one quick thing before we go. We've gone through your list. I want to do, I want to show, I really don't keep track of what people, purchase and get to the show. And I decided, let me go back and see what people have been purchasing over this past year and what has actually, provided us money back to the show. So let me stop this one here, open up a new screen and show. So somebody has actually been doing a lot of purchases of the Dell Optiplex 3090 micro form factor. So I want to first of all say thank you. I don't know who makes these purchases, but they did a ton of these purchases. And these look small enough that they can obviously sit, tucked away on a desk or maybe behind a monitor. I
Like I
know
say,
that this
they look like the ones that would sit behind the monitor on the, do they have flip it, can you see the other side? They might actually have the, holder on them. Nope, they
I
don't have
don't
the holder on it.
doesn't show. Yeah, you're right, 'cause, my medical office was trying to get to the point where they would have screens in the walls and have them mount on them. So this looks almost small enough for that. So I wanna say thank you to whoever got that, and then the most unique purchase, somebody actually got this 34-inch all-in-one desktop PC. It was the HP Envy. Now, this is not on a Black Friday special, but, the current price right now is $2,300.
I
So I
don't know,
know
I
that
have some envy for that. That's pretty cool.
I know people right now are really truly talking about these bigger screens.
Well, I mean, to
And
be fair, I run two 31.5-inch curves, so that's what I'm sitting at right now.
231s, wow.
Yeah, it literally goes across, yeah.
So I have 224s at my main desk. Here I have 227s that I was gonna swap and do the 27s at my desk. So 231s that's a lot of desk space.
I have the space for it, so I have a 6-foot, length on the one side, so I've got plenty of space.
So that would be cool. Then you can put your camera, your PTZ camera on top there.
Yep. It's actually camera's gonna go over this way because normally I wouldn't be showing my screens or whatever. I'm actually returned that way.
Okay. I just want to go back. I don't know if this is the same LinkedIn user, but maybe another anonymous LinkedIn user. Going back to our Dell makes the bracket for the monitor mount. So it probably, the OptiPlex sits in the bracket and goes to the screen there. Thank you for keeping us up to date there. So I just wanted to say that was a very nice purchase on the Amazon that helped support the IT Business Podcast. Thank you much.
So where is your link for the Amazon for you? Because we need to have that to be able to.
So here's what I'm going to do, because I was going to do a couple of things. First, if you head to the website, itbusinesspodcast.com, and click on Amazon right at the top there, shop Amazon, that will take you to Uncle Marv's Amazon store. So that's one thing that you can do if you just, don't create a shortcut, or, are out and away from your desk when you decide to make a purchase. That's what you can do to make your Amazon purchase. Or you can take the link that I'm about to put in the show notes in the chat here as soon as I get it up, because that is there. Get over here. Yeah. Like I was ready for this, wasn't I?
Sorry.
I'm
I mean, on the
actually,
bright side, I haven't turned the entire show on its ear the way I usually do. So there's that.
no, you must have stayed up late and prepared for this.
Sure.
So here was the problem. I wanted to get the short link because the regular link is absolutely ridiculously long. So here is the short link that I'm putting in the show notes in the chat right now. That is the short link to the Amazon. Now, this link actually doesn't take you to Uncle Marv's Amazon. Yeah, it does. Yep, Uncle Marv's Amazon store. Now, don't freak out. You don't have to purchase anything on that store. Once you click this link, you can go anywhere on Amazon, and anything that you click will still get credited back to the show. So this will just be your starting point to go. And as you can see, I have in there the network testers, of course, my complete suite of NetAlly stuff, my podcast gear, computers and notebooks, and Here's my recommended books. We're going to have to add your books into this list here. And you guys can click on links there and support the show. How's that?
Sounds good to me.
Okay. Well, Dawn, that's it. Not really anything major. Just a quick shout out and hello. So just to let people know, Dawn was kind enough to jump in. I had a cancellation. Most of the time I have Erin, the Tech Gadgets Canada lady, on. She actually was on last year. She was on with my Christmas in July. She overcommitted herself and was not able to be here today for this. So I reached out to Dawn. I did not have to call in a favor. I didn't have to remind you that we were supposed to meet up at IT Nation. That didn't happen.
We did briefly.
Yeah, in the hallway.
It was like a run by hugging.
It was a flyby as I'm heading to the Tech Degenerate party.
It wasn't even a party.
In my half 70s, half 80s outfit, whatever that was you had on.
It was a 90s outfit.
Okay, it did not look like a 90s outfit. But thank you for doing this on short notice and coming as prepared as you were.
No, of course. Like I said, it's all the stuff that I use on the regular. So, I mean, everybody has something that they maybe haven't shared, or, whatever that they're using on the daily that you should, because there's probably something that will just, help raise the tide for everybody else.
And this is exactly the types of things that I was looking for, things that we use, things that you can give as gifts. Listen, I know that a lot of you, when you go for your Black Friday stuff, you're either buying for yourself or you're shopping early for Christmas. So these are all things that you can do ahead of time and support the show. So we thank you for that. And I will bid you all farewell now and let you all get back to your day. There will be another Black Friday preview coming up at 1 p.m. with the channel champion, Jason Miller. So come back for that. And on behalf of my good friend Don Sizer, the queen of the channel, the princess of Pennsylvania.
Pennsyltucky.
I want to say thank you all. We'll see you soon. Have a good turkey day. And until next time, holla.